honoring our request for you to be our keynote speaker tonight. And from the African Organization of Madison, we'd like to present you with this stole that you can remember us by. Please give her a round of applause.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wakuta, for that warm introduction. We're both in graduate school, and we didn't even know what the future was going to hold for both of us and many of our colleagues who are doing great stuff. So having you introduce me today brings a lot of nostalgia and memories. But thank you so much. I want to begin by saying a huge thank you to everyone who is seated here. It's such an honor and a privilege to be invited as a keynote speaker. So this is a huge privilege indeed. Thank you, the AAM executives, for this opportunity, and I am so pleased to celebrate our graduates, especially every one of you across levels from high school into college, and some are already even graduating from college, at least from my understanding. I want to also say a huge congratulations to the parents of the graduates. It is not just a celebration for the graduates, but the parents are also celebrated at this moment, especially for your resilience, your consistency, and unwavering support for your children. This is a proud moment, not just for the students, but for every one of you, including the graduates. Please let's give them a round of applause, please. This attainment is not just the completion of a degree awarding journey, but an opening into a robust career path, overall development, and impactful achievements to come. So I want to say cheers to greater years of achievements that lie ahead of you. Today, I have titled my talk, Growth and Life's Realities. Embrace it. Graduates, today is proof that growth is possible. Years ago, many of you walked into various classrooms uncertain, nervous, and in fact, still discovering who you were. I remember one of my first classes that I took in graduate school. The professor of that class presented the class with a photograph of a palm tree and some distant water, and asked everyone in the class to go around and share what comes to mind. While my white American classmate associated the picture with vacation in places like Miami and all forms of, interesting story of vacation. When it got to my turn, I paused a little and I said, looking around the room, I remembered my African root. And I said, this picture brings back the memory of harvest Thanksgiving in my home country, Nigeria. And all the joyous activities and celebration that comes with the Thanksgiving and harvest celebration in Nigeria. The entire class went frenzied, and instead of focusing on the photograph, it became a moment of intercultural exchange. That moment was when I made up my mind. I have to stand out in whatever I do. I was very determined for excellence. In your own unique experience, you have navigated all forms of various classroom experiences. And today, you walk out stronger. You're wiser and prepared for a new chapter of life. The journey to greatness always begins with a step. And when I talk about step, I do not mean literal step by step, taking one feet after the other. But the idea of step reminds me of the newborn, whose developmental trajectory begins with very little awareness. But even in the moment when the child is unaware, important components of growth, some of which are irreversible, are being formed. And those components of development are a requirement for the maturity of the child. So, just like an infant in my analogy, the late night studying, the sacrifices you've made, obstacles you have overcome even in the face of self-doubt, the numerous pieces of advice and support from your parents, the values instilled through the beautiful community like the African community you were raised in, and the various forms of education you have acquired are seeds of character. They are seed of development. And in fact, of progress that would ultimately lead you to a fulfilled life. Some of you balanced school with work. Some overcome loss, loneliness, anxiety, or uncertainty. Some were told they would never make it this far. Yet here you are. You made it today. The evidence of your various certificates and degrees, when wrapped up as a career choice you've made, is a pointer to this growth I'm talking about. But growth means change. And some changes in life are permanent. For a change to occur, choices must be carefully considered. This is because the transformation and development you have attained through the completion of your degrees do not exonerate you from the consequences of the irreversible, even when that is wrapped up as growth. What exactly then could be irreversible as one matures or makes progress in life? Consider your choices, the habits you have formed or that you are leaning into, your reputation and your integrity, the relationship you curate for yourself, and of course, missed opportunities. Remember that some decisions will open doors, others will close them. The words you speak, the people you surround yourself with, the habits you build, and the values you protect will shape your future in ways that cannot always be undone. And so, this is where I call on you to look inward and ponder the values you believe will sustain your development and propel you to the heights that you have aspired to in life. Before you take that step, before you venture into that decision, before you say yes to that invitation and the many calls that will eventually shape your life's trajectory, stop and ponder. Will this be irreversible? If yes, will that irreversibility be the state I would choose and be happy with? And even if I think I can always change my choice, what will that cost me? And what impact will it have on my own core values and the reputation I have built for myself, my chosen career, my family, my entire community, and more to question? This set of questions is not an excuse to fear taking opportunities or to embrace the complex challenges of growth that that may arise in life. Instead, it is a call for preparation for the life ahead of certificates and degrees, the reality of being and of becoming. Remember that dedication, consistency, and self-determination are ingredients for sustaining your achievements and your aspired fulfillment. But there is no becoming when your values are lost. When your compass in your faith, your cultural values, and the many lessons you've learned as part of your identity are erased. Many of you have African heritage. You're raised in a community that shows you the path of hard work, self-respect, dignity, truth, honesty, integrity. These are important values that you cannot afford to just throw away because you want to explore opportunities. Indeed, graduation is the point at which your life's goal becomes tangible and you express your agency in the best way possible. So, dear graduates, embrace opportunities with enthusiasm. Explore every detail of the various opportunities that will come your way and be certain about what forms of development exist in it and how that aligns with your principles and the goals you've laid out for yourself. Do not be afraid to explore, my dear graduates. Do not be afraid to take that risk or do that which presents itself as never has it been done or attained. You have been trained. You are raised in the confines of values that have shaped your perception as a person with African heritage. And most importantly, as one who is raised in a particular faith, whether your strength comes from your faith, your culture, your family, or the values that shaped you, never lose sight of the foundation that made you who you are. Always dig into those cores, to challenge yourself, to remind yourself of the skills you have acquired, and tell yourself it is doable. Just as life and growth come with complexities, they also present you with the joy of living and finding fulfillment in whatever you do. So, enjoy life to the fullest, but do not be reckless, my dear. Remember your values. Remember the irreversible costs and in fact the gains that you're counting. Always aim to become better while protecting your peace, your values, and your purpose. I wish you great success as you begin to explore the realities of the next phase of life. As you leave this chapter behind, remember that success is not only about how far you go, but about who you become along the way. Protect your values. Embrace growth. Take courageous steps. And never forget that the world is waiting for the unique impact only you can make. Congratulations, class of 2026.